No doubt this is a very important discussion, and it would be inappropriate for me to comment on the views that have been put forward on the internal political aspect of energy security. No doubt there are many measures that we would like to consider as far as organization goes, supervision and so on. But I'd like to make a couple of comments in general and specifically on the presentation that you have made to us. I have not, of course, had time to read the paper, but some reflections on this presentation that you might want to consider for further elaborations of this paper. And that is that my impression from the Ukrainian debate is that the discussion on energy security is very much focused on the security of supply and how you can increase energy production, or at least increase domestic energy production to substitute for imported energy. I can only tell you that if we were to have this discussion in Sweden, we will not focus on the security of supply necessarily and how to increase energy production, but how to use energy more efficiently. And I'd like to refer to the previous speaker's comments on this subject, because the figure of 2.6%, or 2.6 times more energy consumption in Ukraine than the world average, that's the world average. If you look at the European average, which I think is the comparative figure to be of interest to Ukraine, being a European country, is at least 4 or 5 times. Maybe it's 10 times, I don't know, but the figure of 4 or 5 times is definitely there. If you compare Ukraine to Poland, the Czech Republic, other neighbors, energy consumption in Ukraine is much higher. And what you are doing, basically, is that you are burning money. You are burning money. By saving energy, you will save money. That is what we realized in my country some 2 decades ago. Because we have internal energy resources, but we don't have oil, we don't have gas. By being dependent on oil, primarily, where the price goes up and down, you also subject your own industry to the fluctuations of the oil price, and thereby expose it to a risk in terms of competitiveness. Saving energy is, as I said, saving money. And I think in this paper, where the final paragraph discusses this briefly, I think it would benefit from a more in-depth discussion on how Ukraine can decrease its energy consumption. And I would even be so bold to say that the problem is not how to increase your energy production, it is how to decrease your energy consumption. I don't really think that you need that much more energy, practically speaking, depending because of the high level of consumption. I often get the argument that Ukraine consumes much more energy because you have an intensive industry, energy-intensive industry. Yes, that's true, but you are not the only country that has this industrial structure. My own country also has a similar industrial structure, and the way we have tried to approach it is to cut energy consumption. That's one reflection. The second reflection I'd like to make is the relationship between the traditional energy sources and the new alternative energy sources, which is also briefly discussed in the paper. One reflection from my own country is that when it comes to encourage the shift from traditional fossil-based fuel to alternative fuels, the most important and efficient instrument is taxation. What we tried to do some years ago in my country was to encourage solar energy by subsidies. That did not work. Don't repeat that mistake. Because by subsidies, by paying consumers to use a specific kind of energy, you distort the market. And what we did was we introduced it, then it was phased out. Then the whole industry that had grown to provide the technology was basically killed. Because everyone was waiting for the subsidies to return, which they did. And when they did so, as an attempt, then the industry didn't exist any longer. So the technology was not there. So subsidies, that's for us, was not the way forward. By taxing, putting higher taxes on energy sources that you don't want to to use or want to encourage. That could be an instrument to use to encourage use of new alternative energy sources. Because there is another dimension to this as well, which is not being covered in this discussion and not in the paper, and that is the global discussion on climate change. Ukraine is part of this, and you will be part of an agreement when it will be put in place. And that will require Ukraine to limit emissions and to meet the targets to be a good corporate citizen of the world, as it were. And to do that, you need also time to take measures to cut the carbon dioxide emissions like everyone else. Because if you don't, you will be dependent on old technology which will harm your industry's competitiveness in the future. That is at least the assumption that we make in my country for our own industry. We need to be part of this new technology, the new technological leap. Otherwise, we will pay a high price in the future for being dependent on energy sources that will not be competitive in the future. So forgive my frankness and bluntness, but this is just to provide some input from the side.